Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Wednesday morning to you all. Hope you guys are doing well out there and having a great start to your day and a great work week. It is hump day, so we're getting close to the weekend. I know it's been a long week already at my full-time job. Been very, very busy, so I'm certainly looking forward to the weekend myself. But I got you an update on what's going to happen weather-wise for today. It's going to be a decently active day, not necessarily during the day, but tonight it could get quite active with a line of storms along this cold front that's working its way through portions of the country as I speak right now. So we'll give you an update who could see the most active weather. I'm expecting areas of the mid to deep south to see some nasty weather potentially later today. That marginal risk we talked about for today has been upgraded to a slight risk. That's a level 2 out of 5 for certain areas. So we're going to talk about that and break down that for you guys and everybody else too. If you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. I appreciate the support as always. And if you guys got anything that I can pray about or pray over, please put it in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over it. It gives others an opportunity to do so too. So let's take a look at the water vapor loop. Here comes our front right here. You can see moisture along it. There's already moisture in the southeast, which is good because certain areas are seeing their first rainfall in a few weeks. Here in the southeast this morning, it's already rain falling in portions of the southeast, so that's good news. We're going to have more of it later. There's going to be a very small flooding risk, very, very small, literally. So, there's that too, but there's going to be severe weather along this piece of energy right here with the main trough coming in behind it and all the cold and dry air that's going to reinforce itself over portions of the country. So if you're wondering what all these clouds are down here, that is actually the outflow from Karl. Karl is still a tropical storm in effect. Here it is, the latest update from 5 a.m. is still a 40-mile-per-hour tropical storm, but just expected to move a little bit further north into the Gulf of Mexico and then hook a hard turn and go right back south and then impact areas of Mexico as a weak tropical storm more than likely sometime Friday. So not a big deal really for anybody, but certainly expect some tropical storm force conditions for a period of time in areas of Mexico in this region right here. We move over and we look at the Storm Prediction Center. Like I said, this is for today. There's a slight risk for severe weather. This includes the entire northern half of Mississippi, areas of Tennessee, areas of Arkansas, not quite to Little Rock, but this is a level 2 out of 5. And then, I wouldn't be surprised if this gets extended a little bit further east. I'm expecting a line of storms later tonight to really get going here, and this could produce a damaging wind threat. This is slight risk is not driven off a high-end tornado threat. There's still just a 2% risk of a tornado, 25 miles in any given location in this green area. It's really driven off a damaging wind threat, which there is a 15% risk of winds pushing 50 knots or higher. That's around 55, 60 miles per hour in 25 miles in any given location. And like I said, we're really watching a line of storms tonight, not necessarily what goes on today. There could be a severe weather risk today. Certainly possible, but really tonight, along the actual cold front, there's going to be a damaging wind threat. There will be a hail threat too with this. So 15% risk to see 1 inch or diameter or larger hail in this 15% risk area, 25 miles in any given location. There's a marginal risk for flash flooding today. That is at least a 5% chance of flash flood guidance being met in this green area. So, not a ton of rain expected, but the soil is really dry in these areas. So we're thankful we're seeing the rain, but hopefully we don't see it too fast today where it just runs off. But let's break it down with the region. We're going to get a little bit closer look at the deep south here in a second. So today, what could happen starting off this morning? Already some showers in Alabama, Georgia. They will intense and convection they will multiply and the coverage will become more widespread a little bit later today in Alabama. I think Alabama will be the epicenter of some heavy rain today, the entire state of Alabama. And then this could drift into Georgia. Some heavier rain could fall into Georgia. Anywhere, and we'll talk about this in a second, anywhere between Georgia and Alabama could see a few inches of rain. Certainly possible, even into the panhandle of Florida. All of Florida could see some moisture. And then this rain makes it into South Carolina, the Piedmont, the Carolinas a little bit later this evening. So I think sometime around dinner time or when you're heading off to sleep, I think you're going to have some widespread rains moving to central South Carolina and then areas of North Carolina. And then the rain just continues. And this is the damaging wind threat I'm talking about. A little bit later this afternoon to this evening, this line of storms, it looks like it bows out too, a little bit of a bow echo effect. starts to make its way, potentially starting in Memphis. Then it really gets going a little bit later this evening. Nashville, Huntsville, Alabama. Watch out. These storms will move through, and then they will extend itself all the way from Shreveport too. So that's why I say, this slight risk might get extended a little bit east or southeast. But, this is getting into midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. These showers and storms are still making its way through Alabama and areas of Mississippi. But look at all this widespread rain in South Carolina, Georgia. It certainly has trended a lot more wetter for areas of the Carolinas, especially South Carolina and Georgia. So a lot of rain expected for a lot of folks. This is your first rain in weeks. And for a lot more folks, this is also your first rain since Hurricane Ian came through. So certainly much needed rain. Today, let's take a little bit closer look at Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee. So as you can tell, we're getting into this afternoon, and this is the last bit of this moisture right here. But these storms right here, as we're getting into around dinner time tonight into this evening, these storms will pack a punch right here. They already have moved through Memphis, but maybe in another round of storms moves through Memphis a little bit later tonight. But these little storms right here, well, they're not little. This is a broken up kind of line of storms right here. Moves through Huntsville, Alabama a little bit later this evening, Nashville, Tennessee. And they will pack a punch, and there will be a damaging wind threat and a large hail. The tornado threat will be kind of low. Not a lot of kinematics down here to really help a tornado threat, but there will be a tornado threat, just a very small one. But these will continue to move throughout the overnight hours and make its way all the way to the Gulf Coast as we get into sunrise tomorrow morning. So rain expected between now and tomorrow morning. I think the most rain could fall in areas of Alabama, Mississippi, and then there will be another corridor of very heavy rain in areas of maybe eastern Georgia or South Carolina. Certainly need to watch out for maybe an inch or two of rain, but a lot of rain could fall today. Much beneficial rain could fall for a lot of areas of the South today. We definitely need it. The Northeast, pretty quiet for most of the day, but rain begins to enter the picture in Michigan. Of course, Michigan's not in the Northeast, but the Ohio Valley, you can see this kind of weak line of storms moving through. This could produce some damaging winds, but it's more so just along the passage of the cold front. But there's some storms out ahead of this. These could produce a small risk of a tornado with these little cells right here into Ohio, Kentucky, and this is getting into around dinner time tonight. Watch out for these little cells. They could produce a quick tornado warning. Definitely not expecting a tornado outbreak, but these little storms can produce sometimes, and these little setups can produce sometimes is what I meant to say. But some rain begins to enter the picture a little bit later tonight for areas of the Northeast, but I think for most of the day and afternoon and evening, it's going to be quiet. But as we're getting into the middle of the night, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, down here to Charleston, West Virginia, rain and storms beginning to enter the picture here for sure. So South Central U.S., it begins to clear out for you guys. But like I said, Arkansas, Louisiana, some storms later tonight. Certainly possible. The North Central U.S., rain will continue. Just some lingering showers. These will be some cold showers up here in Minnesota and the Dakotas. But, probably sometime late this morning into early this afternoon, a little broken line of storms potentially can move through like Chicago, northern Illinois, cross Lake Michigan, into Michigan. And then, just produce some heavy rain, maybe some gusty winds. But you see all these little showers right here? Some of these can mix with a little bit of snow up here in northern Minnesota a little bit later tonight. But these will be some cold core storms right here with the cold air that's working in on all levels of the atmosphere. And then we have some streamers moving in through Canada. Could produce some snow a little bit later tonight in northern Minnesota. That is certainly possible. So temperatures today, warm ahead of the front, humid also. The southeast will be humid, probably your most humid day in quite some time. And certainly you will feel it out there. You'll feel a little bit of the humidity, not the summer type humidity, but certainly a little juice to the atmosphere as it will be raining in most areas. The temperatures might be held down where it rains most of the day, but certainly 70s and 80s are most likely in the southeast, 60s and 70s in the mid-Atlantic, and maybe just some 60s in general for the northeast. But you can see the cold air coming behind this front. And you see this boundary right here with this line of storms moving through about later this afternoon to Arkansas and western Tennessee that will enter that slight region right here. That's why you see Temperatures cooling from the 80s to the 60s very quickly because of these storms that move through. But cooler air, a chilly day for the Midwest areas, the North Central U.S., the Great Lakes region, especially up here in the UP of Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota. So that's all I got, guys. Got to rush off here. I'm already running behind. Girls were not being cooperative this morning, so they were fighting each other. So I'm running late, but you guys have a blessed Wednesday. I'll be with y'all this evening, and have a great day.